in her own assertion that she submitted a document to the committee. And that document was revealed to her by another officer from the same area. She attempts to also allege that the person who actually engaged in that particular transaction and crafting that document is not dead, exists somewhere, who I think this committee can also interact with. And three, she also alleges that she recommended 3 companies, not one, if I'm capturing it well. Would it be of interest to give her more time to elaborate in those areas? Because maybe we are asking too many questions before she can clarify. And we try to appreciate who is that person who was involved from her own submission. And it is right, if that was the only document available with them, it was right to submit it. Now, interrogating this accuracy becomes a key issue when we identify these anomalies. And also finding out who was engaged in this, if it is a forgery, then who forged against her. But again, submitting it as it was, I think it's legit. But interrogating it further, I was praying here that before you go to the next email, we give her 3 more minutes to clarify what she wanted to be from her side of submission, so that we can appreciate it and take an equitable position.
Okay,
Chair, supplementary chair. You know, in fact, I don't want to get confused. To supplement on what he's saying, when you're telling us what is contained in the email of which we don't have, you are indicating that Madam Jennifer is recommending Mr. Bafata only one company. She is saying there is no way she is recommending one. She is recommending the 3 that who are not busy. That's why we wanted to listen well in that email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honorable, the email is dated September. This procurement happened way before that. So way before September. Like I mentioned, my CEO at the time wanted to cancel the contract without taking procedure, without following procedure. A lot of what is in that email even explains to him how the procedure should be. In my meeting with him, he was saying this company was handpicked, it was the only one. So I was reminding him that in that email I'm mentioning 3 companies. The documents we delivered yesterday also showed that a big submission was sent to 3 companies. And those are the 3 that are mentioned in that email. I have not mentioned any other company.
Let me also read another paragraph in that same email if I go to the next one. So you mentioned, it's then that you did ask me, okay, let me read the end part. I also mentioned that there was sabotage to cancel the contract based on frivolous claims. It is then that you did ask me if the MD of the company, Babata, was the pastor in my church, and I responded by saying yes. And I also mentioned to you that he is the same person who had been praying for your contract and your wife the last time she was ill. Additionally, I mentioned he was an expert in aviation communication, having handled different airlines individually and as an agency. You're talking about the CEO of Babata, right?
Yes, why was I telling him this? Because the reasons he was given for cancelling the contract, I was telling him will not hold water. He needs to do it properly and give a performance review, an evaluation, which wasn't done, but he went ahead and cancelled. So what I had warned him was exactly what was used against us as an airline. And the contract was overturned, the termination was overturned, and then now the organization started to do things the way I had requested them to do.
Chair, there is the clarification I want to get. First of all, the idea of saying we want a company which is not busy, and yet these 3 were handpicked, knowing that they want those ones which are not busy. The other one does not arise. And then the clarification I want to get from Madam Jennifer, that issue of your pastor praying for the wife of the CEO, how does it arise in that, in the operation of the Uganda Airlines? How does it arise? To the extent of putting it in the email.
It's even part of the email.
Yes.
It's your pastor, she prayed for your wife.
But
personal because the email is not personal.
Okay, let's let me, because here, the other thing we're trying to build is the connection, what we're trying to establish. Let me read another email. This was from Jennifer Lenkai. Jennifer Lenkai at gmail.com. We are writing to G. Bazawa, and you copied to Joyce at ababata.com, and copied to Lenkai Mark at gmail.com. What's from her?
Which names?
Jennifer at UgandaAirlines.com to Conwell Mulea. So this one from Jennifer Lenkai. Dear Geraldine, this is to request, this was 7th June 2019. Dear Geraldine, this is to request that you kindly pay ministry staff from the Abavata resources. We can reconcile once the ministry receives resources. These are, you listed names of people and amounts that should be paid. Kind regards, Jennifer. Was this written by you?
Honorable, if you recall, you asked me, one of the members of parliament asked me what I was part of with the pastor, and I mentioned that I used to volunteer in his organization as an operations person. The names that you haven't written there were members, staff, not of Ababata, but of the ministry. That is why you see in the email saying ministry. Thank you, Honorable.
Okay, so you were saying that these people using resources of Ababata, you were speaking as who now? As a director in Ababata, as a shareholder, as what exactly?
I was speaking as a volunteer in the church.
Honorable Chair.
But I hope it makes sense. You see?
No, it doesn't make sense. Madam Jennifer. Madam Jennifer.
No, the sense that I was talking about actually is not. There's something I'm trying to get out of this, because all of this, it shows the connection she has to Ababata and the influence. That's what I'm talking about. Because if in her individual capacity, she can tell, Ababata, please release resources for this private issue, that members or whatever, pay them money, we shall sort it out internally. So that's the sense I'm talking about. Not that it's logical or whatever, but she's there.
Honorable Chair, I want to ask this question to Madam Jennifer. Please forgive me. Does it really make sense to any ordinary Ugandans like me that a volunteer in a church ministry would request a company to pay staffs as who? You need to really give us a clear picture of who you are in that ministry. Whether you're a shareholder, it is not a crime.
Thank you, ma'am. That email, I think, has something like fellowship with the Holy Spirit, which you haven't mentioned. There's an FWTHS.
Well, I didn't know if WTS means fellowship with the Holy Spirit.
That's the ministry. That is why.
Okay, I didn't know. So now you tell us.
So that's the ministry. That is why I'm saying the ministry.
So FWTHS, this is fellowship with the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Okay.
So the stuff you see there was stuff of the ministry.
Now, Jeff.
That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, so perhaps just to clarify, so that we understand it.
Yeah, we are lost somewhere.
Just a second.
We are lost somewhere.
Let's have order, please.
Yeah, we are lost somewhere. We're talking about
Honorable Order.
the Holy Spirit.
You know I can switch off your mic from here. That's what I just did. I have the central operating system here. So let me first clarify. Yeah. So Jennifer was, as she has said, a member of the Fellowship with the Holy Spirit Ministry Church. Okay? Now there are staff members that needed to be paid money. There's a list here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, different amounts. Yeah? 500,000 and so on and so forth. So She's writing to Geraldine is the staff of Babata, is that so?
Geraldine was a member of the Fellowship of the Holy Spirit, and she was volunteering in finance. She was part of the ministry.
But you're telling her to pay using Babata resources, so she must be an internal person of Babata.
At the time when I was writing to her, she was handling the Fellowship of the Holy Spirit.
Okay, but the email is saying, dear Geraldine, this is to request that you kindly pay the church staff from the Babata resources.
Yes.
So, meaning she was a staff member or something within Babata?
No, she was volunteering in the ministry.
In the
That's
ministry.
what I mean.
What connection did she have to Babata?
I'm not, at the time, she knew she was helping with the finances of the ministry. So my point to her was, pay the staff for the ministry and using the Babata resources.
Where was she going to get the Babata resources?
Now I don't know. Me, I was just writing to her. She was going to look for the money. Me, I was just in operations.
No, because you see, Jennifer, don't confuse me. The understanding, let me reread this email. Dear Geraldine, this is to request that you kindly pay church staff from the Babata resources. We can reconcile once the church receives resources. What this means, you were telling Geraldine, get resources from Babata, pay the church staff. Once the church/ministry receives resources, we shall reconcile, we shall pay back Babata. That's what this means, not so? Okay, so that means Geraldine was either staff or she was handling finances of Babata or something. No, I don't want to assume. You respond. So that's my assumption. I want to know whether it's true. Huh? Hey, madam, can you say no? You're not going to answer. Huh? Please be on record and respond to what I'm saying, because I want clarity here. Yeah? My understanding of this email is that Geraldine was either finance manager or something within Babata. So you're telling her, get resources of Babata, pay the church staff. When the church gets resources, we shall reconcile, pay that back. And you have conceded. So who is Geraldine? Jennifer, I'm talking to you. This is your email. This is you who wrote it. And you have accepted that you wrote it. So who is Geraldine?
Like I mentioned, Honorable, Geraldine was also volunteering in the ministry.
So what role was she playing in Babata? Because you were telling her to get Babata resources. How was she going to get them?
Now that is what I'm not able to tell you how, because I don't know how. All I'm saying is I requested her to do that stuff.
No, but you see, you can't say you don't know how. You were giving her a clear instruction. So you cannot say, I don't know how you are going. Was you going to break into the safe of Babata or what? Because you're telling her this is to request you that kindly pay church staff from the Babata resources. That means either she had access to the resources of Babata or she was the one in charge of them. Because you're telling her, get those resources and pay. Then when the church gets the money, we shall pay back Babata.
Procedure here. Procedure.
Jennifer, if you need some water, we have plenty of it here.
Chair,
What we want is answers to these questions. Yes or no, madam?
Chair, the rules of procedure provide that this committee, in cross-examining witnesses, has powers of the High Court. And by procedure, when a witness fails or refuses to answer on a matter she testifies on oath, it's presumed she has answered in the affirmative. So instead of taking the whole day asking Jennifer of an email she has produced and owned, and this committee has powers to interpret the same, we have given her the opportunity to answer and clarify. She's talking about the Holy Spirit. And now the other officers of the airline are left stranded because they came to talk about the airlines, they are hearing Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. Now, even as we are asking, we are talking about the OT report. It is obvious that probably the witness has owned the email. We can interpret it as it is. She wrote it with instruction for someone to pay. By presumption, she has the powers to instruct. Secondly, just to remind her, she has a right to even be married to that pastor being talked about.